Welcome back to the railroad, everyone. Today we have an interesting install to try. I've never done one of these before. This is the PIKO 35042. It's a remote control So today we will install the PIKO 35042 RC pocket remote and receiver in my old Hartland Locomotive Works Railbus. There is only one problem. First, we have to remove an old RCS receiver that died on me that was running the Railbus. So the install today is this little PIKO 35042. It is a remote control that uses a small key fob type controller as a position for forward, reverse, speed up, speed down, and two push buttons, one for a whistle and one for a bell. And the receiver is just a simple board. It is a little larger than some, but what we're going to try today, let me move you around here. We're going to try and set it up on this little Railbus. Now, this used to have an RCS sound system in it, and this was from a long time ago, and it's gone bad on me. It no longer works. But the Sierra Sound Board still works fine. This is an old Soundtraxx Sierra Soundtraxx Sound Board. As far as I understand, no one has done one of these installs yet with the PIKO transmitter receiver and a Sierra soundboard. Supposedly this is a digital soundboard, and I already have this speaker installed and an on-off switch. So most of this install will just be a little bit of wiring. I am going to move the soundboard back, I think, and put the transmitter or the receiver up in this area somewhere. So it will go probably either back here or up here. We'll have to make sure I have plenty of room above these areas for all of this, because this does have a lot of items that will hang down a little bit. So let's get into it and see what we can find. Okay, so our first steps on here, and I do have the books, of course, for the new unit, which we'll get into, and then I also have one of the books for the old Sierra sound systems. So first thing we need to do, of course, we pulled out the nails that hold the top in. With these little Delton Railbuses, I think these were Deltons, they just have a nail on each side that holds the roof section on. So let's get us a tray. That's where those go. And then we're going to start disassembling this. Okay, so we have a little bit of a resolution here, and I see my battery's running low. It is working. Now I have got it reversed, so I've got to reverse the two motor lines running from the one controller, or from the engine. Okay, so as I was saying before my camera so rudely shut off for us, I do have a resolution to some of this. It appears to be working. This is an old Sierra soundboard. Now I do not have the 6-volt battery, the auxiliary battery, to keep power up on the sound system. So what I have to do instead is rig up a battery later. Right now the sound will start after I get up to at least 5 volts. So And we do have a problem. Now, I don't know if you can see it, but when I start this, the headlight flashes instead of being on solid. And of course, once I get it up to the third notch, the sound starts. So the sound will run. I can do the bell. And I can do the whistle, which is a crossing whistle. It restarted. I'll have to look into that. The soundboard is very old, so it could be having problems. Anyway, then I reduce the speed by 3 steps and it brings me back to 0. Also, I found what it says in the instructions is if you're not sure where you're at on speed, press both buttons and it will stop it. However, it stops it instantly, so if you're going fast, you could strip the gears out in there. And then, of course, the opposite way is the same. Once I get up to the third click, it should, there we go, starts the sound system. So now with these, it doesn't have a switch between forward and reverse. You push the up arrow for supposedly forward, and when you want to stop, you press the down arrow as many times as you press the up arrow. That'll bring you to the neutral position or stop. And then of course your 2 whistle and bell, or bell and whistle, the way I've got it set up. Now the problem I'm running into is when I wired it, I wasn't sure which motor wire should go to which side, and 50-50 chance I got it backwards. So when I press the up arrow, it goes in reverse instead of forward like it should. So I will be changing those wires. I'll reverse the 2 motor wires. And with the lights, I don't know if you can see it, but they were flickering on and off. So what I'll do with that is I will try hooking the lights up off of the PIKO board instead of the old Sierra Sound Board. Okay, so let's come back to this when I get some things changed. All right, so I did a little bit of rewiring here. I did reverse the 2 motor wires so that they're now running the correct direction. I took the lighting off of what was 6 and 4 here on the Sierra Sound Board. I think because of the difference between pulse wave moderation, whatever they call that, PMW and linear. Anyway, I hooked them up to the lighting on the PIKO board, and because of the problems on it, I've just got the lights on all the time because I have both interior lights and the headlight. Don't have a backup light on this one, but maybe in the future sometime. So interior lights here. I also have a trailing car, which is the passenger car unit, and it will have lights in it as well. So I have to run everything through a switch, but for right now, when I plug it in, you have a headlight. I think you can see that on here, and you have the your interior lights here. So when I fire it up, and then when I go in reverse, okay, so we have a working engine, and let's go see what we can do here. Okay, so to make it work like you saw, what I took was this. This is the old Sierra sound system by Soundtraxx. That was the original before it became Tsunami. And I did the full layout here and wired it in as I thought appropriate. I still have to put the 6-volt battery in, which I'm going to work on after we get this going. Now, this is PIKO's definition. Number one is, as I can understand it, my German isn't that great anymore. Number one is for analog. Number 2 is for digital. I could be wrong on that. Anyway, I used the number 2 setting, which gave me controls that I thought would go into the Sierra Sound. And what I came up with was this drawing. This is my layout for what I had to do to make that work. As such, the power basically comes into the WR/WL, which is wheel right, wheel left for your power. Doesn't make a difference of the positive, negative on those. If your unit's running reverse, then switch them. It'll run forward. Then the M1 and M2, of course, are your power out to the motor. And that also controls power, which is 7 and 8, out to the soundboard to give you your rev up and your rev down. And then, of course, I jumped off of those two to go to the motor of the Railbus. Now, further out here, your bell and whistle signals on the PIKO board are your R and your B. B, I am assuming, for bell, R is for whistle. And the associated units on the old Sierra Sound Board are number 14 for your whistle, number 13 for the bell. And then I needed a ground wire, so the yellow is a continuous negative ground. So I ran from the yellow up to number 12, which is your ground on the Sierra Sound Board. Then I needed lights. Now I tried running lights from this side of the old Sierra board, and for some reason it was flashing. I think it has something to do with pulse wave modulate, PWM, whatever it's called, to linear. And to bypass that, I went directly off of the full power terminals on the PIKO board, which are your Y again for your negative, and your F positive is the power. And that seemed to work. So I have lights, basically, they come on as soon as you turn the unit on. So you have to remember to turn it off or you're going to run your battery down fairly quick. Okay, let's continue with this unit. So here are our connections. The battery car connects to the passenger car just to travel power up to the Railbus. And then the Railbus will give lights to the passenger car through this cable, which connects up under these right here. So let's get this all hooked up. Okay, I put in a fully charged battery this time. Last time, our battery was really low. So, now we have a bright headlight, we have bright running lights, and I don't know if you can really see, there is a light inside, and there are lights in the coach. Okay, now comes the real tell. How does the PIKO controller work? Oh, wow, that's quick. There, because I don't have the 6-volt battery in, the sound system doesn't start till later. Now hopefully my switches are all set. And I see I've already run off the rails, but it re-railed itself. I didn't check my tracks today. Now this is across the way. I'm using the buttons. That was the button for the bell. There's the whistle. And that worked nicely. Okay. There's the bell. And with that, I'm extremely pleased with the way the PIKO RC Pocket Remote and Receiver worked for this application. Granted, it's an old Sierra Sound System board, but it all is working good, and I will make some more adjustments. So thank you, PIKO. Well, I hope you all enjoyed that. Let's go run some trains. Well, I hope you all enjoyed that. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. If you like that video, give us a thumbs up. Be safe, stay healthy. We'll see you down the rails, and God bless.